Turmeric. Did you know there's a silent R in there?
Yeah, you made it actually extra silent.
I did.
Turmeric.
Turmeric. We're going to talk about turmeric today. I'm Dr. Paul Zalzal.
Dr. Brad Wayne, welcome to Talk About Doc.
This is a popular spice.
Very.
And today we're going to tell you what it is, what's so special about it that's in there.
Yep.
And really, there's some of the good benefits associated with it. We made a video about this a while ago.
3.5 years ago, yep.
3.5 years ago, and the evidence back then was, okay, and we didn't have a strong recommendation for it.
Soft, yeah.
But we've revisited it.
Yes.
And now there's a little bit more evidence. But I'm not saying you have to grow this at home or anything like that.
Wait, you can actually grow it at home. Even in North America, it likes actually moderate climates.
You're growing this at home?
Currently growing it. Interestingly,
I'm glad we're not talking about marijuana today.
That's right. So actually, we've talked about this before, so I have a grow light system in my office. And when I turn it on, my kids for years thought that our neighbors would have thought that I had like a Walter White weed project kind of going on in the office, but it wasn't. It was for plants. But interestingly about turmeric, you don't grow it from a seed.
No.
You actually grow it from the rhizome. It's like from the ginger family. So it actually, turmeric when you buy it, it's like a big root.
Right.
And so you plant it just very shallowly, and it takes 21 to 35 days to sprout. So I'm just waiting for my first little sprouts to come.
Soon? Yeah.
I don't know.
All right, then do you dry it after to use it, or you just use it?
Honestly, I haven't really got that far.
Figure it out as you go. Okay, so it is a popular spice.
Yes.
And what's in it that makes it so special?
So it's curcumin is the main active ingredient that has both a health and medicinal benefits. Been used in traditional Chinese and Ayurvedic medicine for centuries, maybe thousands of years.
It's the tricky R. Again, they threw an R in there where you didn't expect one, right?
And it's also what makes it look yellow.
Yeah.
Because of that golden kind of color and flavor for your food.
Okay, and so that is the active ingredient that we believe makes turmeric beneficial to you.
Yes.
And that active ingredient, curcumin,
Easy for you to
with the R, that has some special properties.
Right. So, like most things that are healthy, it reduces inflammation. Very specifically, has been shown to reduce inflammatory markers like IL-6 and tumor necrosis factor alpha.
Okay, so inflammation is one of those pathologic processes in the body that every year we seem to find a new pathology that is influenced by inflammation.
And I think what's important is that
heart disease.
It's useful. In trauma, when you cut yourself, we talked about this before, you need inflammation as a process to heal wounds and things like that. But it's the chronic, low-grade or moderate-grade inflammation that is really, really damaging to our bodies.
Right. And so in turmeric, there's curcumin, and curcumin is an anti-inflammatory.
Right. So it also modifies or increases the amount of something called NFK alpha. And what this does is this helps deal with oxidative stress, mop up free radicals.
So antioxidant properties. These are all buzzwords you've heard before. Inflammation, antioxidant.
Related to aging and the kind of the timely death of our cells, it helps us age more successfully.
Right.
Yeah.
And so through these processes, we know it has the anti-inflammatory properties, which help many processes in the body. And there's some evidence to show that it helps your brain and your mental health as well. There's been some good clinical studies that do show there have been some improvements in mental function with this. Now, these studies are not, super rigorous randomized controlled trials, but some evidence that is pointing towards these benefits.
Right. And so what's one of the issues with it? So where do you get it?
Well, one of the issues is it's not super duper bioavailable.
It is not. Definitely on its own. It is very poorly bioavailable.
So that's where the black pepper comes into it.
Right.
So which also makes your food taste better.
It does.
Do you use pepper when you cook?
I do a lot, actually.
Yeah, I do too. I add pepper all the time to stuff.
And the active ingredient black pepper, there's a whole bunch of different kinds of little peppercorns that can be used to ground up to make black pepper. But the active ingredient is something called piperin. P-I-P-E-R-I-N-E.
And apparently that increases the bioavailability of curcumin by 2,000 times.
2,000%.
2,000%.
Yes, 20 times. But to the point where if you're not using black pepper, it's probably not worth taking.
Or just take a whole bunch more.
Yeah.
20 times more.
A lot more. Yeah, so adding the two together is critical.
And that's why in many of the supplements that are available over the counter, you'll see the curcumin with the black pepper.
Okay, so that's a nice segue. So how much should you take? So how much curcumin should you take to get a benefit?
I think, I have no idea.
Yeah, so the studies, most of the studies and supplements are in the 500 milligram to 2,000 milligram range.
Yeah.
So
I know, but if you eat it, if you just typically ate turmeric, you're only going to get about, 200 to 400, something like that.
That's right. So 200 to 400. Yeah, exactly right.
You have to eat a lot of.
You have to eat a lot. So if you did choose a supplement, choose one that is combined with black pepper.
Right.
And then a lot of people are like, well, what about the cost? You know, is it cheaper?
Oh no, they're not expensive. The curcumin supplements.
No, I'd say they're about 25 cents a dose, somewhere in the 25 to 30 cents a dose. Obviously, exponentially cheaper if you had the time and motivation to take some type of edible device or capsule,
right,
and fill it with curcumin and black pepper, and then take that. But yeah, for 25 or 30 cents, you're probably.
Or you could grow your own.
You could grow your own, dry it, grind it, and then take it.
Yeah.
Most people aren't going to do that.
Quit your job to do so.
Okay. So let's specifically talk about inflammation in the joints. We're orthopedic surgeons.
Yes.
We deal with arthritis on a daily basis.
Yes.
This is where we spend our time.
Yes.
Hip and knee arthritis, there was a good study that actually compared curcumin
Yes.
to ibuprofen.
Yeah.
And what do you think it showed?
The comparable results.
Comparable results with less side effects. So
Yeah.
we have videos about anti-inflammatories, and they are very effective at controlling inflammation, but they do have consequences.
Yes.
To your heart, to your kidneys, to your stomach, and even to your ears. We learned recently.
What was that?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and anecdotally, because we've been doing this for like so many years, that is
Yes.
seeing patients with arthritis,
Yeah.
anecdotally, I hear it a lot.
Agreed.
Like I hear a lot of patients coming in and say, you know what, I started taking turmeric. Usually they say turmeric because they forget about that silent R.
Yes.
I've been taking turmeric for a couple of weeks and my pain has gotten better. I hear a lot of that anecdotal evidence
Right.
in the office, and you can't ignore it, right? Oh,
No.
yeah, I used to.
Yes.
Before I'd say, okay, whatever.
That's right.
But now, after sort of diving into it a little deeper, it's like, you know what, now I tell patients, you know what, there is good evidence to support that help.
And there's a phrase, your anecdote is not evidence, which it isn't.
No.
But you put them together and you make a trial.
Yeah.
And there have been some trials. They don't have a lot of long-term data, and they're not gigantic trials.
No.
But yeah, I'd say
No.
that the evidence is, for me,
Yeah.
it's convincing.
And it's in keeping with what we're seeing in the office when people coming in saying they've tried this.
And what's nice about it is it reduces the risk.
Right.
So there's really little downside.
No, it's not too expensive, it's quite safe,
Yep.
and it has been shown to be effective.
Other small trials with different varying doses of curcumin have shown improved memory,
Yeah.
improved cognition, reduced development of mental delay in like dementia or progression of dementia.
Right,
Again, small studies, as well as depression.
right. And however, there are some small risks.
There are
Like
some small
anything,
risks.
there's a risk-benefit ratio. I think there can be an increased risk of bleeding because it does inhibit platelet aggregation.
Yeah, so be it via thromboxane A2.
Yeah, so on its own, I don't think it's a huge risk. But if you're taking a blood thinner for another reason, you could have compounded effects of those.
And I think it's important to let people know, so say you're an anesthetist or your surgeon, if you're having a medical procedure,
Yeah.
this could increase your risk of post-op surgical bleeding. So bleeding's number one. And then number two, interestingly, it's fat soluble and can stimulate gallbladder secretions.
Right.
So if you have known gallbladder disease, this could potentially trigger attack and cause some gallbladder pain. So you have to be a little bit careful in that group.
There you go.
But otherwise, it's generally pretty safe.
That's it. That's all there is that we know about turmeric.
Right, and this is the
curcumin.
thing about scientific evidence, and this is why we do these videos, and this is why we come back to a topic like this.
Yeah.
It says, you guys did a video 3.5 years ago, you said I shouldn't take it, I threw all my turmeric away.
Yeah, go get it.
Go get it. It's probably expired. But that's why you continue to assess the evidence and then objectively say, well, either, hey, there's still no change, we're still not sure. It's
Yeah.
like a neutral recommendation, but I'd say I'm past neutral. I'd say, yeah, it's worth a try.
And the beauty of our channel is given by the fact that the half-life of medical knowledge is 5 years.
Okay.
So half of everything we said 5 years ago is wrong.
Yeah.
So that's why we keep updating these videos.
Turmeric potentially could be the greatest modifiable risk factor for dementia.
No, we say that about everything.
Yeah.
It's not.
No, it's not. But if you like this video, please like it, subscribe to our channel, leave a comment if you experience with this wonderful spice, and if you tried to grow it on your own.
Or if you're a spice girl.
There you go.
Remember, you are in charge of your own health.
We'll see you next time.